Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, July 15th. We're looking at window traders, market profile of the ES and NQ. So a lot of things to talk about today. You know, we always give both sides of the market, and because we trade against short-term players who change very easily, right? We said beware of a potential breakout of these weekly ranges, even though they're up because they're so small. Well, again, NQ is up on all three time frames, without a doubt. ES made a new high today, but again, they barely stretched the all-time high. So for me, I'm still calling balance on the daily. They almost took out yesterday's low to have a potential outside day down. Righty did that. Righty gapped higher, ends up with a trend day down, an afternoon rally high, and a price probe, and very close to taking out their balance low on the daily. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that for tomorrow. Remember, Righty had the island top value gap, never got to it. And now they potentially could come out of balance on the daily to the downside. We all have B-shapes say, look, it's long liquidation. Bears are going to be banging the table saying, you know, this is what we're looking for, this and that. This is still a strong market. Nothing really changes until we take out a weekly low. But also keep in mind, it's healthy. This market from the lows of April through today, right, with all-time highs now in ES and NQ today again, has gone straight up. So at some point you want monthlies and weeklies to come into balance to make it a stronger market, to potentially get higher highs, all-time highs that will hold. NQ goes out with an afternoon rally high, a 9-wide point of control, and a price probe. Now, they did have excess from the regular trading hours today, but not a lot of excess above the overnight high, which, by the way, was a look above and fail. Now, we didn't get the overnight low, but between the look above and fail and the excess in A, one auction ended and another started, okay? We nailed the afternoon rally high in J. Didn't participate, unfortunately, though, down here. I thought that might be an afternoon rally high, but remember, we still had gap value and the overnight high in our favor. So I wasn't 100% sure we'd go back down and make new lows and get the gap. Boy, oh boy, we did. Boy, oh boy, we did. ES goes out. Now, they have very nice excess on the regular trading hour, but they are all-time highs in the overnight. They never got it. So SPY. The odds of that holding are very slim. It could hold for a while, but I don't think that's going to hold, for good. They go out with an afternoon rally high in J and a price probe. Now, SPY, believe it or not, held a 1 penny. Well, I'm in different increments. A 1 penny set of single prints. So they actually held a trend day down. So here we are. What's our balance now? Well, again, a lot of people are still going to use the weekly low, the poor low, from the 7th. I don't have a problem with that. But remember, I was using, a 3-day balance. Then yesterday became 4. And now today we slightly stretched it. So to me, it's a 5-day balance. So I'm still going to use this daily low as my balance low. We come out of it, I'd call the daily down, and then you have to start worrying about the weekly potentially going for the bears to go get that and potentially put the weekly back to balance. But for now, it's still balance. NQ is up. NQ broke out of all this. NQ is up. For NQ to come back into balance, we have to take out today's low. Now, keep in mind, if that is to happen tomorrow, and if it's to happen on a gap lower, you would have a true island all-time top. If we don't gap lower tomorrow, but say we open with lower value, then we could potentially have what ES has had twice, but took back twice also, which would be a value island top. So a lot to be played out here. Tomorrow you got PPI in the beige book. But again, a lot of bears who have been getting crushed on the way up, ready to write and sign the debt certificate for the bulls. Let's not be so quick to do that just yet. All right, let's see how the price probe reacts. That's going to be we talk about hump levels. Well, for me, the hump level for the bears is going to be to defend the base of the price probe for NQ and ES. NQ for the bulls, their hump levels to defend what? Today's low. Because if you take it out, you're back to balance. In ES's case, the bears want to defend the hump level. For the bulls, because they're in balance and not up, they want to defend the low of the eighth. So that's your early lines in the sand going into tomorrow. Okay? The big ones to keep an eye on, I believe, will still be the weekly ones. I had an okay day today. I missed a couple of my staple plays. I ended up making only like 24, 25 points, but still chipping away at last week's debacle. My best trade of the day was a short to get the IB low in C period. That worked out nice. Again, I missed the overnight high, and I missed taking out A's low in B period. The only other thing, so that was my best win. The poorest trade I had was in D period. I ended up losing 20-something points, took short against the 144, and then it got above it, and I took it off. So again, in the afternoon, I did have a short at J. I missed J's high, I think, by 2 points. Unfortunately, I didn't make a lot on it, and then we one-time frame down. After that, K stopped the one-time framing up, and KL and M went down. But I did not take advantage of it because, to me, at the time, right, the MGI was still value, gap. Should I have shorted it? Obviously, in hindsight, yes. But that's fine. So, made some, and we start again tomorrow. I think it's just more important, more than my trades, is to tell you what's going on. We also saw the day really well. I told the room today, at one point, I said, if we lower, now we took back the trend A and ES. I said, however, if we lower POC and volume POC down to where it basically ended up, I said the odds of going and making new lows are going to be very good. And guess what? We did. We did. And even NQ, I was a little hesitant to say this could be an afternoon rally high because, again, don't forget, you had gap, value, the overnight high, and even the indices were up like close to 0.6% at that point. But I didn't feel we were going to get much more of a push above the open. Obviously, game would be over. But we did think about it. We gapped higher today. We didn't fill the gap till the last minute of the day, basically, in NQ. But we never saw the opening since A. Right? Fascinating. Even B period just missed it. Little telltale signs early. So that's the important thing that we go over and show in the trading room. Much more important than my trades, believe me. Now here's your charts. The monthly is incredibly healthy, but it's also incredibly stretched out. We've gone from 482 to 628. That's an amazing move, right? That is $146. That's an amazing move. 140, so from the low, 480, 10% is 48, 96. Well, we're up almost 30% from April's lows. That's 3.5 months, people. So at some point, you want to see this come into some kind of balance. At least see what happens once it gets into balance. So, again, that's something I think would be healthy. The weekly is up, but look at the 3 weekly ranges so far. Now, it's only 2 days this week, but we took out last week's high now. Last week's low is only $4 away. So, like I said, again, we don't tell you this after the fact. We've been banging on the drum for 2 weeks, about this. About because the ranges are so small, there's a potential for everything. Outside weeks up, outside weeks down, so we're going to have to see. And the daily is balance. We just stretched the high as far as I'm concerned. That's it. So we're still in that balance that NQ blew out of today. Will NQ hold it? Remains to be seen. We take out today's low, and they are right back to balance on the daily. But for now, I'm giving them their due. They blew out of balance, and they held it. I hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.